Leg 1 stages would all run in the forestry plantations east of Perth. The Toyota Corolla of the championship leader led the cars into the forests. Sainz and his co-driver Moya have never won in Australia, yet victory this year could secure the series for the Spanish pair. Third fastest around the Super Special, the fourth fastest time on the opening forestry stage was enough to give them an early shared lead with the Ford Escort of Juha Kankkunen and Juha Repo.
Derecha primero menos poco se cierra, acaba la salida derecha buena más posible, quinta poco se cierra, acaba acá, se cierra mucho. Ahí va, ahí va.
Sainz's teammate was Didier Auriol, fifth after stage 2.
Sur droite à fond rare, attention intérieur. Fond rare, attention intérieur. 60 mètres. Droite à fond plonge.
Auriol moved up into second place on stage 3, but it was the Mitsubishi of Richard Burns which set the fastest time to grab the rally lead. Burns finished fourth here last year and knew only too well that tactics play a crucial part on the event. First isn't necessarily the best place to be.
It's the first time I've been disappointed to get a fastest time, because it means now that obviously the question is going to be asked tonight as to what I'm going to do for running first car tomorrow.
Italy's Piero Liati was making his final appearance for Subaru before moving to Seat for next season. Happier on tarmac than on gravel, Liati quickly discovered that there's not much asphalt on the Rally Australia.
Con 20, occhio sinistra 4 velo, 30.
With the tree on my side and the wheel went away and with shock absorber and everything attached. The stage was very, very sleepy and happened.
This was the last rally for you and Piero at Subaru. A sad way to finish?
Really, yes. Very, very sad.
How will you remember your time at Subaru?
To have the chance to be again, after so many years, in a competitive team, in a work team, was very good.
Tommi Mäkinen and Risto Mannisenmäki had a frustrating day. Spectacular as ever, the pair managed to move up into second place on stage 5, but after thumping a bank 3 stages later, there were some alarming sounds coming from the rear of the car.
Jopa sen täys. Pikkunyppy täys 130. Tosi pitkä vasen täys miinus. Ja pitkä nyppy vähän oikealle täys miinus 6.
At the next service area, Mäkinen's mechanics prepared to carry out some major work on the car, and when Tommi arrived, it was obvious why. Damage to the rear suspension around 20 kilometers into the stage had cost valuable seconds, but as time ticked by, it seemed the championship was slipping from his fingers.
16 kilometers still to go when we hit the door. I have to slow down. But I'm more worried about at the moment. I think it seems that we'll have some road penalty.
8 minutes late, Mäkinen finally drove off.
It looks like organised chaos under there. Was it really like that?
No, it's unorganised chaos. Just everybody working together as a team, and everybody knows what needs doing and how long it takes, and if you do this, you've got to do that, and just experience at the end of the day, right?
Suspension problems were also troubling Colin McRae, who'd been elevated to third by Mäkinen's dramas, but who quickly began to lose time. Fifth after stage 9, McRae and co-driver Nicky Grist would be in 6th place by the time the crews returned to Perth for another thrash around Langley Park.
We've got a problem with the suspension in the car, which is, I think, started sort of 2 stages ago.
Is it something they can fix before the end of this leg?
Yeah, we're going to sort it now and then obviously give it a good check later on at the next service after Langley Park.
In Formula 2, the category for 2-wheel drive 2-litre cars, the early pace setter was Kenneth Eriksson, a past winner of the rally in the Hyundai Coupe. Drive shaft problems once again slowed the Swede, however, and he would end the day in 8th place in F2. Australia's Wayne Bell was on home ground and was 4th in the category, but it was 2 British drivers who found themselves at the head of the 2-litre leaderboard at the end of leg 1. The Volkswagen of Alistair McRae, Colin's younger brother, was in 2nd place, while another former British champion, Gwyndaf Evans, led the class in a Seat Ibiza. Evans and co-driver Howard Davis had one eye on the 2-litre World Cup, however, and finishing in the points was their main objective. Fiat might be on the verge of clinching their third successive Formula 2 world title, but work on their World Rally car goes on. Belgium's Marc Duers was 17th overall and suffering from gearbox problems, while team leader Harry Rovanperä was 13th after a string of transmission niggles during the day. In 10th place, as the cars headed back towards Perth, was Sebastian Lindholm in a privately entered Ford Escort. New Zealand's Possum Bourne had already won the Australian Championship, so the pressure was off. His Subaru was 9th. 8th was Mäkinen, 1 minute and 20 seconds of road penalties added to his time. Ford's Bruno Thierry was 7th, but ended the day with no power steering.
Gauche 25 plus, droite 33. Pour droite 25 plus bref, contre 20. Sur gauche 30 plus plus.
McRae was 6th, waiting for the final service halt of the day when his suspension could be changed. Sainz ended leg 1 in 5th place after a brave gamble on the day's last stage. Langley Park saw McRae and Sainz go head-to-head, but at the finish, there was no sign of the Toyota. Sainz had paused short of the finish line, allowing an extra 2 cars to sweep the road for him on leg 2.
Carlos, tonight you've dropped to 5th. Was that a decision you made earlier today? Was it a deliberate decision?
Yes, we decided to run in a closer order to Tommy and Colin tomorrow, and we will see. I hope it's a bit better than today.
Why are some of the drivers, you included, backing off a little bit today?
Okay, on certain events, not all, on dry gravel rallies, the early runners on a stage are basically sweeping off the gravel and getting down to a hard base, which then the later runners are benefiting from and picking up a lot of time. So obviously we're toing and froing our position just to get that extra car or 2 in front of us to sweep the road, so we'll have the advantage tomorrow.
The Corolla of Freddy Loix could then end leg 1 in 4th place. Loix on his last event in a Toyota before he joins Mäkinen at Mitsubishi next season. The 4 times Rally Australia winner Juha Kankkunen was 3rd. He too moves to a new team for 1999, Subaru, alongside Burns and Thierry, with the Ford Escort also being replaced next year. Didier Auriol is another driver who's won the event in 1990 and would start leg 2 in 2nd place. But there was no doubting the performance of the day. Richard Burns was quickest on 7 of the 10 stages and would take a commanding lead into the 2nd leg.
We've got just over a minute, and okay, I don't know if that'll be enough to cope with tomorrow's roads, because there's still quite a lot of loose around tomorrow, but as long as I'm in a good position going into the last day, then that's exactly what I'm aiming for. What I am happy with is the fact that the car is obviously working really well. The tyres are, and I know that if we end up sort of 3rd place tomorrow, I know that we've got the speed, I think, to win.
1 minute and 6 seconds Burns' lead, although 2nd to 6th were separated by less than 30 seconds. History's shown that the early runners are penalised by the loose gravel, so perhaps Sainz had been right to gamble.
Krombacher. Ein Pilz, kostbar wie seine Natur. Frisch und rein, wie das Felsquellwasser, mit dem es...
Leg 2's 8 stages took the crew south from Perth to the area around Colin. The 3 championship contenders started the day less than a minute apart. The fight was still on. McRae launched the Subaru into the first of those 8 stages, but there was trouble ahead.
50, 6 right over crest, and 6 crest, 70, caution left over crest, tightens to 3 minus, gravel. Oh no. Into 6 left over crest, opens and tightens, and care, slow 4 right.
The broken drive shaft cost around 40 seconds, but another stage lay ahead before the mechanics would have a chance to repair the damage. The offending part was replaced at service, but McRae was now 7th.
You've said in the past, when your back's against the wall, that's when you drive best. Is this what you need to do now?
I drive at my best all the time, but you know, it's easier to come from behind. There's nothing to lose, so but too far behind, I'm afraid.
Those Those 2 stages saw Burns extend his lead over Auriol, but both Mäkinen and Sainz were faster than the young Englishman. The pressure was mounting.
60, rightish long crest, jump 100, turn K left plus, on jump. 70, flat right.
Although the roll only cost around 40 seconds, the turbocharger had been damaged and Burns knew he would lose the lead. He was right. At the service area in Colli, there was no time for finesse. While some mechanics hammered out the body damage, others fixed the turbo. Richard was still in the rally, but was now in 2nd place.
Were you pushing too hard?
I was pushing. It was my mistake, but not through going too hard. It was a mistake in my notes. I shouldn't have gone so far on the inside.
But it's not all lost yet.
Not yet, no.
Sainz's gamble had worked perfectly. With the luxury of 4 road sweepers, he was flying, and Burns' accident had handed him the lead. From 5th to 1st in just 4 stages, Carlos was proof that anything was possible.
Para derecha, buena poco tarde, mucho ahora se tira y se abren. 2, derecha, buena más, poco tarde, mucho ahora se abre. 2, rasante fondo 2 veces, 1, rasante fondo 2 veces, 1, izquierda, acá, poco tarde se tira y se abre.
But Sainz had company. Tommi Mäkinen set the fastest time on 3 of those first 4 stages and had made up much of the time he'd lost with a suspension failure on leg 1. True to form, the conditions were indeed favouring those cars running further back, and the reigning world champion was taking full advantage.
Tommy, some amazing times from you today. You've been right up the limit?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's under the control all the time.
Stage 16 was the longest of the entire rally and ran around Wellington Dam. If any of the event's 24 stages would make a difference, this was it. Barely a handful of seconds separated McRae and Sainz over the 45 kilometres, but it was again Mäkinen who was quickest.
Ja nyppy täys. Ja vasen 3, pitkä tuo vasen 3.
A stunning performance on the stage lifted the Mitsubishi from 6th to 3rd. Ford's Juha Kankkunen and Juha Repo dropped to 5th as a result of Mäkinen's charge. Kankkunen unable to match the incredible pace of the younger Finn.
150, very long flat left maybe. 70 caution, keep left to crest and very long medium left. Opens. 120. Very long fast left. Opens to small crest 70.
The Belgian duo of Bruno Thierry and Stefan Prevost were complaining of a misfire in the other Escort, but were still in 8th place, over a minute ahead of 9th placed Possum Bourne and Craig Vincent, who were still the leading privateers.
Pour gauche 30 plus Packard en bosse. Gauche 30 plus Packard en bosse. Pour sommet pour gauche 25 saute, trou.
The Toyota team were enjoying mixed fortunes. Didier Auriol was in 2nd place after stage 16, 23 seconds behind his colleague Sainz. Freddy Loix, though, was slipping back. Already down to 6th thanks to Mäkinen's superb driving, Loix would return to Perth and a final attempt at Langley Park in 7th place after losing 4th, 5th and 6th gears. Seat too were having a frustrating day. The team lost Marc Duez when he went off the road on stage 15. Rovanpera, meanwhile, was still struggling with the Cordoba's transmission system. On only the car's 2nd gravel event, the young Finn would end leg 2 in 12th place. In Formula 2, Hyundai were also down to 1 car after Wayne Bell retired with steering failure on stage 18. Kenneth Eriksson, though, was back on form and had climbed 16 places on the leaderboard. He and Staffan Pamander were now 3rd in F2. 2nd was the Seat of Gwyndap Evans. Driving for points and on his first attempt at the event, the Welshman was more than happy. Stage 14 had seen Alistair McRae grab the F2 lead, and the Scot would return to Perth with an advantage of nearly a minute. His brother, though, was struggling. 6th overall as the rally headed for Langley Park, Colin could sense the rally and the championship was slipping through his fingers. He'd need to produce something extra special on leg 3.
if it wasn't for the mechanical problems, we would have been exactly where we wanted to be. Now we're a minute behind and really quite out of touch for the championship.
Sainz, on the other hand, was in the driving seat. He would lead returning to Perth, but it was no longer a Toyota 1-2. 6 fastest times on 7 stages meant that Mäkinen had snatched second place from Auriol on the day's last forest stage. The Super Special saw the pair run against each other, and while just 1/10 of a second separated them, the stage was overshadowed by controversy. Stern faces at Mitsubishi told the story. Mäkinen was judged to have jumped the start and was penalised 1 minute. Second became 6th. Mäkinen understandably upset.
I didn't jump. I just followed the clock. I didn't follow the lights when they should be equal with the time, with the watch. I just follow the time when it's running, and I just start immediately when it's 0. It's good for me. I mean, it was clearly Tommy was jumped the start. He was starting with the red line on. In Formula 1, that's mean penalty, and here we have the lights and the cellular for something, but I don't know, we will see.
But there was another twist to the story. Overnight, the rally stewards overturned the penalty when Mitsubishi pointed out the electronic timing system wasn't covered by the regulations. Mäkinen was then restored to second place, and so the leaderboard at the end of leg 2 looked like this. The rally and the champion...
How does this leave you this morning competitively? Is your anger a positive anger or is it negative?
I'm okay, but I want to go home. I want to see my family. I think it's the only thing which can help me a little bit now.
5 stages in the massive Bunnings Forest southeast of Perth would then settle the rally. Huge crowds flocked to the stages, sensing a classic battle in store. Mäkinen was just 0.4 of a second faster than Sainz on the day's opening 13-kilometre stage. Sainz, though, couldn't afford to ease off. He knew that Mäkinen wouldn't be the only threat. Sure enough, Richard Burns was nearly 8 seconds faster than Sainz on that stage, moving clear of Kankkunen. With 4 stages remaining, the gap between first and fourth was a little over 40 seconds. A tall order, but it was more than possible. McRae, though, was another 5 seconds faster than Burns on that opening stage. The fight was on.
The charges started then?
Yeah, it's gone well. It was very clean and tidy in the first stage, and we were at a very good time.
Stage 21, the day's second, saw another stunning drive from McRae. 24 seconds faster than Sainz and only 35 kilometres, the Impreza was now fourth.
K jump, 56 left and crest, and the 6 right opens. 100, 6 right over crest, 100. K, 5 left line, into 6 crest, and 6 left narrows. And K, 6 right minus into turn 2 left. 30, 6 right, 50.
Stage 22, and yet another remarkable performance. 27 seconds quicker than Sainz, McRae had done it. He and Nicky Grist now led, and the pair were back in the championship fight.
It was very dramatic stuff. What was it like in the car?
It's probably twice as worse in the car.
I don't think it could be any quicker than that, definitely not. I mean, obviously we're benefiting from the conditions of the road, but even so, I mean, it shows that Richard Burns in front of us, we took 11 out of him, so it had to be done.
In just 3 stages, McRae and Grist had moved from 6th to 4th to 1st, while Sainz had slipped from 1st to 3rd. Behind all the excitement, Bruno Thierry would finish 7th out of the points. His teammate Kankkunen, meanwhile, was on course to finish 5th. Possum-Bourne would be 8th, the highest placed privateer and the best of the Australasian drivers. Freddy Loix, his gearbox worries now behind him, was 6th. In Formula 2, Kenneth Eriksson had a superb final day, but 3rd place in F2 would be his reward behind Gwyndaf Evans. Alistair McRae could then take the 2-litre honours after failing to finish both his first 2 attempts at Rally Australia. But all eyes were on the 4-way fight for victory. Sainz started 23, knowing he had it all to do.
Para uno corto, Fernando, derecha buena ras, para uno.
That slight error cost precious seconds, something Carlos could have well done without. Byrne started the stage just 7 seconds behind Sainz. Getting past the Spaniard would help Mäkinen's chances of the championship.
100 braking crest and slight left, 50 fast left. Low. 40, flat right. Fine it.
Byrne struggled on, but a damaged radiator meant the car retired almost within sight of the finish.
I braked too late for a fifth gear corner coming down from about 100 miles an hour, and that's it. I couldn't get around the corner.
Storming through stage 23, McRae was now on course for his second victory on the event in 2 years.
3 right plus. Into 6 left and turn hairpin left. What's happened? 50. 4 right plus line, don't cut.
Oh, I don't believe it.
100.
Don't believe
4 Ks to go. 5 right over crest line.
Nothing, no power.
A blown turbocharger. First place quickly became 4th.
What went through your mind when that happened?
That was it, the championship's gone. Nothing we could do about it.
Again, you seem very phlegmatic. I mean, is there any point getting upset at this point?
Yeah, of course we're upset, but I mean, there's no point in showing it, is it? I mean, there's nothing you can do. It's 2 championships we've lost with mechanical failures now, so.
The dramas continued. McRae back to 4th, Byrne's out, and Mäkinen now led. All this in just 25 kilometers. Didier Auriol gained 2 places as a result of the incident-packed stage 23. Auriol and Denis Giraudet finishing 3rd. Sainz was 2nd, unhappy at the circumstances, but already thinking ahead.
The RAC, it's down to you and Tommy. What are the odds?
Will be okay.
A controversial Rally Australia ended then with a 16.5-second win for Tommy Mäkinen. McRae's unbelievable bad luck has ruled him out of the fight for the world title, while Kankkunen and Loix rounded off the top 6. Consecutive victories in Finland, Italy and now Australia have left Mäkinen on the verge of a record-breaking 3rd successive driver's title. 2 points separate Mäkinen and Sainz with only 1 round remaining.